Exercise 14-1, Drawing Primitive Solids. Hi, Joe Cerrone for Advanced AutoCAD for Interior Design. We're going to take a look at how to create these different shapes and how the textbook author talks about it. He basically goes through and sets up a 3D workspace in architectural units and then demonstrates how to create these different primitives. Primitives being a box, a sphere, a wedge. And I started working on this and I was doing it by the book, and it just was too much work, and I've taught a number of 3D CAD courses. So we're going to create these shapes, but we're not going to use the dimensions. We're just going to make them by eye. And so to get started, we'll go to the ARC templates within our 13060 2L course shell, and we'll download that template, B-size ARC, and it will open in my CAD software. And if I look at it, this is the title block, and then I'll switch back to model space. I'm going to turn off the grid and the snap, and then I'm going to change it over to a 3D workspace by clicking on this little gear icon and selecting 3D modeling. And when you do that, the ribbon will change and it has the modeling tools available. And so here in the modeling tools we have the primitives: box, cylinder, cone, sphere. So as we look at the textbook, the way that that's set up, we can start by creating a box. And so we'll say box, and see, if we draw it right away in the plan view, we cannot see the height. So we want to go and change the viewing angle to southeast isometric, and we'll leave it in wireframe for now. We'll select box, select one point, select point opposite that, and then pull that into the Z height. We can change this from wireframe to conceptual, and now you can see that as a solid model, everything is solid. You can create another box. So that's how to model the box. And then if we want to look at creating a sphere, we can do that. Let's change colors up. So we'll come over here and we'll use this layer right here. Sphere, center point, and the radius of the sphere. Wedge and cone. And so we can come over here and select wedge. And when you create the wedge, it sometimes may help to put on the grid, because then you can see where the floor is. What we do is we click once on the floor, and then we click kitty corner or diagonally opposite to it to define the area of the wedge, and then we pull it up to give it the vertical height. And then to do a cone, we'll do the diameter, and then we'll bring that up like that. And there's a number of different options that you can do with cones as well. And so you can select the center point, and then when it asks for the height apex, we can make that. Cylinder and torus. Cylinder. First point is the center of the circular geometry, and the second point is the radius. And then you can either pull it up in the Z height or push it down in the negative Z height. And so as you start to bring that up, you'll get a heads-up display, and I can say feet. Torus is like a donut, and so you'll create the inside diameter, or excuse me, the center point, and then the radius for the center of the torus, and then the radius of the, it's kind of like a bicycle tire. And then part 2 goes through how to extrude and draw solids, and I'll create another video for that. This completes part 1, exercise 14-1.